In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys 12 charts plus that did what Hedera is doing today and went on to higher prices. And ultimately, these were also 12 charts that I was watching within my community from a kind of phase analysis point of view. So those of you that are unfamiliar, you might just be finding my channel for the first time today. We like to look at the markets on a macro time frame, typically a weekly time frame, or predominantly a weekly time frame, I should say, and analyze what kind of a phase it's in. And the markets typically move in 4 phases. You have phase 1, which is your base, your accumulative phase, as Wyckoff would have looked at it. You then have phase 2, which is an uptrend, or Wyckoff would have called it a markup. Phase 3, which is, of course, a top or a distributive phase. And then phase 4, which is, of course, a downtrend. And where Hedera is today, ladies and gentlemen, is in phase 2. And it's only recently broken out into phase 2. We also have that double bottom target that we're going to be looking at, or that double bottom pattern that is giving us that target that we're going to be looking at, giving us further confidence in regards to what direction Hedera is going in. So really in this video, the main message is to stop panicking. Many of you are new to the cryptocurrency space. Do not fear. Allincrypto is here. We have been here a million times. And when you look at the broader trend and the broader direction Hedera is destined to go in my opinion, of course, I think you can be very calm in what seems like a storm for many. And this is going to be a heavily technical and price-orientated video, but you only need to watch any of the videos we've put out in the last year on Hedera to be unbelievably bullish on it. Any one of the announcements or articles that we've covered on Hedera really do kind of put forward the argument that this is going to be a real winner to come out of this industry. But enough of the fundamental stuff. Let's talk about price. And let's just kick things off by looking at a nice blank. The only thing we've got on here is obviously volume and the 30-weekly moving average, which we like to use to help us simplify things. Typically in a downtrending market or a bear market, you'll be below it. In an uptrending market, you'll be above it. We're currently above it today. In a sort of phase 1 or phase 3, you'll be sort of consolidating in and around it. We teach all this stuff in our market mastery course. But one thing I wanted to do is just look at Hedera from a purely sort of naked chart point of view and understand next to our schematic where this is. Understand next to Wyckoff schematic where this is. We've gone from an accumulative phase into a markup phase, an uptrending phase, a phase 2, as we like to call it. And that, of course, I believe took place on the taking of around about 18 cents. Not only did you take 18 cents, you actually did it on pretty tremendous volume. Now, when you go from phase 1 into phase 2, you want to see volume confirm the breakout. You want to see volume generally, certainly going to the upside. To the downside, a little bit less important. Often that could be the reason why you're breaking down. But when you're breaking to the upside, you want to see volume sort of indicating the momentum, the conviction behind the move. And that is well and truly what we've seen for Hedera on the breaking into phase 2. Now, what I want to do is I want to look at, like I say, 12-ish charts and show you what charts typically do and really normalize what Hedera is doing today from breaking out from phase 1 into phase 2, which you'll be easily able to identify. They typically break out and then often will pull back. And we have always spoken about the potential for, after this break, a potential retest before then continuation to what is very clearly a double bottom pattern, in our opinion, that ultimately gives us that 94 cents price prediction. That being said, don't be too greedy, because we've also looked on the smaller time frames at how this could set up into continuation. It looks a little bit less likely, I will admit, on the back end of yesterday's price action. I think maybe this could extend into something perhaps, but this is quite heavily hanging. You are seeing the lows get bought up. In fact, Hedera is one of the stronger altcoins. But there is absolutely the possibility that this might want to take a roll back to here. If it does that, that is a golden opportunity, in my opinion, to reaccumulate Hedera or to accumulate it. I haven't sold any Hedera. Our average buy is down here, around about the 8 cents mark. I know many of you got it significantly cheaper than me. I know I've got many patrons that got it significantly cheaper than me, which I'm over the moon for. But really what we're focusing on isn't so much the smaller time frames, and there could be continuation. It's the broader time frames, the fact that we are now in an uptrend, and the fact that we have a continuation or a pattern that also confirms the direction that's going in. And I want to show you guys now those examples of the charts ultimately further ahead than Hedera, but Hedera is very much on the same path that they embarked on. And actually, we looked at all these, or I've looked at them at various different times in regards to suspected phase 2s with my Patreon. So this is the first chart that we have for you. Again, we've even got it numbered here, the phases of the market. And you can see phase 1 is your basing phase. When you break out of phase 1, you often come back and retest it before you see continuation. So remember, Hedera really has only just broken out of phase 1 into phase 2. And it still has, in my opinion, this long uptrend ahead of it. Certainly, I think $1 is achievable. Multiple dollars are potentially achievable. We need to see some technical structure for that. But I do think this is viable. And hopefully this channel, and don't take any of this as financial advice, can help you get to those multiple dollar ranges with your Hedera bags. We're potentially will hold a small bit of Hedera forever, but ultimately, I want to make money out of this space as an investor. I will be sort of diversifying out of Hedera. When it gets to certainly the multiple dollar range, we'll be looking to take some profits. So this is the first chart that we have for you. Hedera is really just in this phase here. This is American Super Corporation. This is an interesting one. Really, what we're highlighting here is the breakout of phase 1, your accumulative phase, your base, into phase 2. Always very commonly met with a retest. Not always. If it doesn't retest and it just rocket and rolls, then that's very bullish, and that's a bullish indicator that you're in the right sort of vehicle. But retests are very common. I'm not sure Hedera is going to have one, but it's an absolute possibility that we need to pay attention to. And even if it doesn't, it just continues. The fact that you're in phase 2 and we've got this technical target taking it to 94 cents still remains intact. So this is a firm holdings, breakout, retest, continuation. This is ALLIN Technologies Limited, phase 1 base, breakout, retest. And you're just here for Hedera, guys. And then you get that big, long continuation, which I think we're certainly going to see in 2025. All things indicate that. This is Pitney Bowens. Cumulative sideways phase, breakout, retest, continuation. This is BRFSA. What do you get? Phase 1, breakout, retest, continuation, guys. This is the journey that Hedera Hashgraph, ladies and gentlemen, has ahead of it. And it's probably most clear with Binance's chart, just because you get the kind of full phases really playing out here. So we've looked at Pitney Bowen. We've looked at BRFS. This is IoT. Samsara. I think these guys are doing something with Bitcoin also. You can see this was also a double bottom. Breakout, retest, target met. This is the path that Hedera Hashgraph, in my opinion, has ahead of it, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're showing this to you. Certainly in the times of a pullback, it's very important for us to put our best foot forwards and say, look, if we were bearish on Hedera, we'd be saying we're bearish on Hedera. We stayed out of the market for pretty much the whole of 2022 and took the people that followed this channel probably sort of maybe took some insight into that. And perhaps, we saved a lot of people in 2022. Being a channel called Allincrypto, being out of crypto was an interesting thing. But ultimately, we're not sugarcoating anything. We're genuinely bullish on Hedera. So this, of course, is Samsara. Breakout, retest, continuation. We've got the New York Times. Breakout, retest, continuation. This continuation is ahead for Hedera, ladies and gents. And it's as plain or as clear to see. So we've looked at the New York Times. This is Galaxy Digital Holdings. This is more of a range-based, more Chainlink-esque. Breakout, retest, continuation. What we're focusing on is phase 1 into phase 2, guys. And that's what's currently going on for Hedera. This is another chart. We've already brought this one up. I do apologize, guys. Spotify, this was genuinely one we were looking at down here with Patreon. Breakout, retest, continuation. This also had a pattern in the form of inverse head and shoulders that got met. Just like we're looking at that phase 2 being initiated, and we have a pattern taking us into phase 2 for Hedera. And then Toast is a recent one that we're looking at. I might have shouted this out a few times. But when you look at Hedera from a technical point of view, fundamentally, we've done lots of videos on it fundamentally. I mean, just yesterday we covered a partnership with NVIDIA and Intel and how they're actually leveraging Hedera through Equity Labs. It's just one of many monumental partnerships that Hedera or things that are being worked on Hedera. You can see this is, of course, going back to the Hedera chart, really what we're looking at. We think this is a beautiful chart. We think you've got far more upside to come. Can you pull back considerably more than what you already have? Yes, absolutely, potentially. Certainly you can come back, we think, to this resistance level. You'll likely hold it. That is your second chance to enter this market and get, in my opinion, a great entry. Not financial advice, just something I'll even be looking to perhaps add a little bit more HBAR myself, even though we would have got it, even if it comes to $18, at 40% of that. But 94 cents is still ahead of us. And then I actually think you've got the remainder of sort of phase 2 to see in. And we really wanted to show you guys a number of charts that were where Hedera is, that ultimately are kind of depicting what Hedera has ahead of it. And you've still got that phase 2, that uptrend ahead of you. Hang in there, guys. I know it can be turbulent and tough in the cryptocurrency space. This is why we look at charts, because it gives us that compass in what can often be a very volatile sea. You know, it's inherent, the volatilities of this space. If we want these kind of returns, there has to be volatility inherent with that. So that's it from me. I'm going to love and leave you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, if you're not already a subscriber, do consider becoming one. Certainly see what we're talking about through. And I'm very confident in the direction HBAR is going. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections. Always a pleasure, guys. I'll love and leave you. Thanks for watching. See you soon.